So hey YouTube, so people had questions about the Mathmech Runick deck. How does it work? How do you get the Sigma restriction with the Runick extra deck monsters? So I'm just here to do a simple combo and then maybe a couple test hands and explain. So here with this hand here, right? So circular plus any Runick is combo, or a Runick plus any level 4 Mathmech is still combo. So you would go circular effect. If you have to search fountain, you always want a circular effect first. So you would circular effect, and then you would dump Sigma, right? And then you're gonna activate Sigma's effect, and then you would chain Runick fountain. Excuse me, you would chain your Runick one, and then you would summon Hugin, right? So now you're gonna do your Sigma will come out. You're gonna do your so I like to make sure that I have super factorial, because I feel that is more important than fountain. Obviously fountain is more important, but the super factorial is just really good because it just lets you go plus. So I normally do circular chain link 1, Hugin chain link 2. So now you will have your fountain and you will have your super factorial, right? So now what you're going to do is you're going to overlay into the rank 4. And then you're going to detach these two to search your last Mathmech piece that you need. And then you're going to search diameter. So now what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your diameter. Remember you also still have 2 more cards left in your hand as well. So we're going to do the test hands too to show you how it works. But you're going to normal summon your diameter, and then you're going to go active. It doesn't matter which one you summon back. And then you're going to go his effect. You're going to tribute Hugin to summon the last one. And this is why I play 2 Trish guys, is because I go him when I go first as well to rip a card. So like if you hand trap me, and I rip a card, and then I tactics you, you just lost 3 cards. I'm sorry, you just lost 3 cards, and then I'm going to rip another card on your turn as well with the super factorial. So I just like going him first, because I don't care about nib, because I have super factorial and fountain already. So it's not that big of a deal to me. So you would just only detach 1 here to rip a card. Then what you would do here is you would go and you would link these 2 off to go into Splash Mage. And then your Splash Mage would bring this one back. And then you would go Heat Soul. And then you would activate Heat Soul to draw a card. So you have...
So I have a question.
Yeah. So
when
you have 5 cards in your hand now.
When you do Splash Mage, do you specifically have to bring this one back, or can you bring back any?
You can bring back any one, but I just bring the Earth one back, because if they have a Bestial, they're going to stop your super factorial. But at least if they have another Bestial, they can't Bestial this one. So you bring back an Earth one so you can at least get to your Heat. So if they're going to stop this, at least they can't stop both. Because if it's Magma Mutt, right, they can stop both if you target a light. So I just like to target the Earth just to make sure I at least get to Heat Soul. Because if you're going to stop this and I have Fountain up, I at least need my draws.
Okay.
So that's just the theory. So you have 5 cards here. You would set the super factorial. You would obviously activate the fountain, right? So you have 3 cards in hand now. You would pass turn. And then you would activate his effect on draw phase to draw another card. So you have 4 cards in hand. I was just showing you the combo. So you have 1 Runick in the graveyard. So if you have Runicks, you can activate the Runick, draw more cards. I play, as you see in the profile, I play Nib and Ash, so you can draw into those as well. Your super factorial is going to rip another card, send. So you're playing against, it's also good against back row decks, because you can send spell and traps as well too, and all of those type of things as well. So that's just like standard, if uninterrupted. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a test hand, and just shuffle up, do a test hand, hopefully not brick, right? And then just show you what I would do with the hand I get. Because sometimes you have to go Hugin to search fountain, and you draw in a circular, but now you can't Sigma because your extra deck is clogged up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just make it a Runick deck and just grind it out. And then once you're able to get into the rank 4, you can tribute it off. If they swing over it, it's fine now. You can grind it out and then get into your Mathmech. But 90% of the time, maybe higher than that, you're doing Mathmech stuff turn 1. But sometimes you don't draw a Mathmech card and you have to search Fountain, and there's really no way to get into it unless you draw into Circular and another level 4 that you can summon with your normal summon, preferably Diameter. All right, so we're gonna shuffle up here. I'm gonna do a test hand, maybe 2, and then just do a little bit more explanation. So they will cut. I would draw my hand, so Cyanide Mining, so that's already combo. You have Tactics here. I drew into the Fountain. You have Sigma here, and you have Diameter. So I didn't open any Runicks. So this is honestly just the same combo without Hugin. But I'll just show you once again. So there's no Circular here. So what I would do is I would go Cyanide Mining, pitch Sigma, because he can come back from the graveyard. You would search Circular here. Then what you would do here is you would go Circular effect, pitching your other Sigma just in case you have to banish that Sigma. It's not that big of a deal, but normally I would just dump the other Sigma here, right? And this is also good that I drew this hand too, because this is the combo where you can go combo with kind of a negate. So here you would normal summon Diameter, right? And then you would summon back Sigma. Now Sigma didn't use his effect, I just brought him back. So now here you would just overlay these two here into the rank 4 guy. And so what now you have a negate under him. So you're still going to chain block the Circular, because if they ash him as chain link 2, you don't care. So you wouldn't waste a negate, you'll wait for the barrel or anything like that. I mean imperm, because if you want your super factorial. So if they ash this, you don't care. You just let the ash rock because you have all 3 of them already. So you're gonna go chain link 1, chain link 2, search your super factorial, because that's very important. You also are going to activate your Fountain here too, because you're going to draw 2 with Heat Soul. So you might be able to get draws. You might draw into Runicks, which is very high because you haven't seen any and you're going through the deck. So now, if they nib you, it's not that big of a deal, because once again, you have your super factorial. So now there's no, if you had a Runick, you'd be able to summon the Runick and then tribute the Runick to special summon a Mathmech to keep the negate on board, to keep it safe. You can also, since you have 2, you can actually honestly do that. Since you have 2 Sigma, you can go Sigma effect here and special summon a Sigma. The thing about this is this Sigma will get banished, but you already have a Sigma in graveyard, so it really doesn't matter that much. And also here, this protects you against Abyss to you as well too. So remember, keep in mind though, he will lose his negate once you go into the end phase. So you go Splash Mage here. You don't have an Earth to target here in this situation, so you just bring back any one, and then you would go into Heat Soul. And then you would use this effect to draw a card. I went through the deck, so I'll shuffle up. It's just completely random. You would draw, and if they hand trapped, you had Tactics too, right? So you see, I drew in a Runick tip. So now you activate Fountain here, right? And then on their turn, obviously you'll set the super factorial here. And then on their turn, you would use the effect to draw another one. Unfortunately, drew into Fountain. But now you have a draw 2 here at least, right? So you go on their turn, you can go tip. This is also kind of follow up too, because you contribute, summon a guy, but you'll go tip. You'll search whatever Runick you need, whatever the matchup is for. So let's say you just need a Flash and Fire, you'll search the Flash and Fire, and you'll go activate Flash and Fire, and then it'll go to the graveyard, and then you'll draw 2 with Fountain. All right. So now you I drew an Ash Blossom now. So it's really good that you draw, because you're likely to see Nib or Ash Blossom. You do the Runick stuff, you interrupt them with your Runick stuff, and you try your best to keep this set and not activate it. If you have to activate it, obviously activate it. But if you can interrupt them without activating this card, it's really good, right? So let's say they go to they set cards, you go to end phase. You can keep this set. You don't have to use it. So now you probably ash them. You'll draw a card here, going back to your turn, because this is the turn 3 thing I was talking about. Use this effect again. So you drew so many cards. Now you have another Runick, right? So you're gonna draw more here. So here, right here, you'll just grind it out, right? So you would pass it. You would pass again. They're low on cards here, right? So when you on the next turn, you can go superfactorial, and you can get the effects to interrupt them. I'm sorry, you would skip your battle phase, obviously, because you have to go in the battle phase and skip battle phase, or you can get called out on it. And then you would go here, and then you would just trish them. After interrupting them last turn, they shouldn't have enough to keep pushing. So now you have a battle phase this turn. So once again, you'll draw for turn. You draw on the silent mining. You go activate. You drew. So right. So you go silent mining, pitch. I don't know, like or whatever Runick or whatever the case may be. You would search diameter. And now you have a battle phase. You just go access code. You go normal summon diameter. Bring guy back. You go in the access code. And you target, and now you have enough for game. So yeah, but that was a hand where I didn't even open Runicks. I had to draw sorry about that. I have to draw into Runicks. So that was the most unfortunate part. But when I draw just the Mathmech hands, I don't panic, because I know when I dig into the deck and get the superfactorial out and I get these other cards out, I know the likelihood of me drawing into a Runick, at least one Runick, on my opponent's turn is really high. And the Mathmech can just stop your opponent by themselves, because superfactorial is just that good. So right now, I'll try to do one more test hand. And if I don't cover anything that you had a question to, you can just comment below and I'll answer the question to the best of my ability. But obviously, what Runicks you search for with tip, obviously depends on the matchup and things like that. So now we're just gonna do one more test hand, and hopefully not brick, right? So we're gonna draw here. Once again, silent mining. You drew nib, ash blossom. So this is okay. Runick tip, and you drew freezing curses here, right? So this is a little bit of a weird hand. It's not bad at all, but it's very fragile, in my opinion. So with draw it into the format, I would go draw phase, activate tip, and search fountain, because it plays through, I guess, ash blossom, because you could search. A lot of people ash this because they don't want you to get to the fountain. So here, now you go here. This is in your graveyard. So now here, I guess I will pitch the nib since I'm going first. But you kind of have to here because you didn't open the circular, so you have to try to search it. So you go silent mining here on draw phase. And if you get drawed here, you would just try to play with these and draw 2 on your opponent's turn. Technically, you could still probably go into Heat Soul with Circular and Sigma, but I would just hold off on it so you can get your superfactorial search, because you should be able to stop them with these 2 cards and then draw 2 and then have enough for clap back on your next turn. So you don't always have to just, if they draw, you don't always have to just go Circular, dump Sigma, because you know you can get in the Heat Soul. If you have Fountain already, because you can kind of stop them and then hold it so you can get your best value out of Circular. You don't always have to do an effect just because it's in your hand. So now you're gonna activate Fountain here. You're gonna go, obviously, Circular effect. You're gonna pitch Sigma here, right? And since now you have the Fountain up, you're gonna go, once again, you're gonna go Sigma effect, chain freezing curses. And here, we're gonna summon Jerry. This card was so good because it's just a level 4. Sigma will come out, right? And your Sigma will come out, and then you would go Fountain effect to, no, you would go Circular effect. You'll go Fountain effect, because this is if, right? Yeah, so you'll go Fountain effect to draw 2 first. And then you drew in a Fountain and Sigma. Not good, but it doesn't make, it's not that bad. So you overlay these 2, so your Sigma doesn't get banished into this. Now you would trigger your, because you want to chain block it. So now you go chain link 1, Circular, chain link 2, search your diameter here. So now you have access to superfactorial and diameter, right? And that level, Jerry being at level 4, extra body is still really good. So now you're gonna go normal summon diameter here, and then summon Jerry, and then summon Sigma. You have your superfactorial in your hand. You're gonna go rip a card. And then you're gonna, you effect to rip a card, and then you do your regular Splash Mage Heat Soul stuff. This is what you, and then you bring it back, and then you go in the Heat Soul, right? And so you're gonna activate the effect to draw a card. So now you're back full hand again. You're gonna set Fountain, right? And then you're going to, you have Ash Blossom, you have Destruction, you have Superfactorial, you'll pass turn. Because I don't normally get greedy with the other fountain, because this is not a situation where you can really activate it anyway. I could have, there's you just keep it in hand. Then you pass turn. You can't skip battle phase obviously because you went first. You activate the effect to draw a card. You drew in a circular. So you have 2 Mathmech for when you're trying to go do things. So now here you have Ash, you have Destruction, you have Superfactorial. So if there's a time where you can activate Destruction, you can draw a card. If I normally just go for the draw 1 if I can, just to get more resources, to see if I draw into another hand trap or I draw into tactics. Unfortunate, but now you still have the Ash Blossom as well. You have the Superfactorial. With these interruptions, most likely you'll have to use the Superfactorial, but it's still not bad, right? So you'll still rip a card, which is a card out of their hand. You can send a spell and monster, whichever happens on their board, right? So now they'll pass here. You can draw. If you're going against a monster heavy deck, what you can do to stall for time is you can go circular effect, pitch, diameter, whichever one you want to pitch. It's not that big of a deal. You can then normal summon Sigma. And you would draw a card, obviously, from Heat Soul. And then you would go Baguska here, right? So now this is going to go defense. So this is how you stall for when you seeing that your hand is not really that good. So you go here to stall. The stuff goes into defense, right? So now he's still free because he can't go into defense, right? So now what we do here is you would just enter battle phase. You would skip the battle phase. You would pass. You use his effect to draw once again. He's really good too when you open him, but I obviously haven't opened him with a hand. So they can't do anything. If they can't do anything, you would draw, activate his effect to draw, detach, right? So here, the problem here is we didn't draw into any other Mathmech, any Signet mining, anything. So what you can do here is you can go into access code, and while this is still in defense, blow up the whole board and attack. I think it's it'll be 74, which wouldn't be game here, right? So you could try to stall for 1 more turn in this situation because you just need to see any normal summon. So because you would have a battle phase this turn because you skipped the last one when you summon Baguska. So you can just pass here. You can pass, and there's no way you don't draw another Mathmech here. You should be able to because you're going to technically draw 2 more cards, right? So you're going to pass. You would draw. Hopefully you get a Mathmech. You would draw here, and then when they can't do anything, you draw for turn. You still didn't get a Mathmech here. So unfortunately, you can't. Obviously, you would like set cards. You wouldn't keep this many cards in your hand. I'm just trying to show you how you would go through. So you probably would set tactics, set a flashing fire. You do 3 flashing fires. That's crazy. But what you can do here is you can go into access code and swing and start swinging. Or what you can do here is you can start. If you contribute these 2 to summon Fenrir. You can activate the effect to get an interruption on board. Or you could have went access code, blow up the whole board, and then swing for 74, and then normal summon Fenrir, and it'll free up this. Or you can keep this one up and just keep drawing and just deck them out. So it's up to you there. But in that situation, if you draw any Mathmech, which we were just so unlucky, because I could have stalled on Baguska again, but I wasn't drawing a Mathmech until turn 3, so I seen that. So I just started putting pressure on the board with attacking for that 74 or summoning Fenrir, whichever the case may be, because you still have Slumber as well. You had Flash and Fire, you had another Fountain. Like, you had options, right? So there's no way that when you rip 2 cards out of their hand, you negated one of their cards with the Diameter. You sent a special summoning card and a spell trap if that was the case. You drew like 6 cards off Heat Soul. Also Slumber, this card right here. Where is it? I had it in my hand. This card right here is a great way to protect your Heat Soul too, because it was in the regional where he went the for hire Donald, the for hire god of popping, but I had slumbered my Heat Soul earlier and it didn't die. Because it slumbers really good, because if your Heat Soul makes it past your first opponent's turn, there's kind of like no way you're losing that game, because you're literally just drawing like 6 cards and you're just going to be so ahead of the game. You're either going to scoop or you're going to get to that point to where you can kill them. I try my best to explain quickly what this deck can do and just how it can control the game. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to be in the comment section below and ask any questions, but answer any questions, excuse me. But there are going to be some changes to the deck. I'm not good. So I never go for these 2, Baron and Coral Dragon. It's just that you can. So to play around cash a little bit better, I'm probably just going to play a second one of these 2. Because it was a time where I was playing a cash player and he mind hackered and he banished his face down. Yeah, I can still play, but it's very difficult. So these 2 guys, you want these 2 guys, because Heat Soul is important, but these are the guys that get the Heat Soul. So you wouldn't play a second Heat Soul to play. You'll play these 2 just to be able to play and at least get to your Super Factorial. Because if you don't have this, it's very difficult to get to your Super Factorial with Diameter. So probably will play for sure a second one of this, cutting this, and it'll either be a second Jerry or Heat Soul. I haven't thought about it yet, but yeah, you have to play around the Mind Hacker and the Unicorn better when you look in your extra deck. So for sure a second one of this, and either a second Heat Soul or a second one of the Jerry, because you can still get to the Heat Soul without Jerry. It's just that Jerry's so good because the other effect too, the pop effect, and he's a level 4 body. But I'm for sure gonna cut these 2 cards because they don't come up enough. And I just don't want to have them taking up 2 spots in the extra deck. So, yeah, thank you. Like and subscribe. And peace out.